So the past 24 hours have not been ideal. Yesterday I got a notification saying that my flight was just straight up canceled. So I had to call the airline and rebook. I was supposed to leave this morning, but my flight was changed to late this afternoon. So it's sort of just a waiting game now. And they're canceling a lot of flights because of COVID, which I understand. I kind of expect that, but it's really just a waiting game for me at this point. So fingers crossed that I'm able to get on this flight this afternoon and that it's not canceled or delayed. Welcome to La Ciudad de Mexico, or like us gringos like to call it, Mexico City. Let me just start off by saying that this city is absolutely massive. With nearly 10 million people, it is officially the largest city in North America. Right now, I'm in the Chapultepec Park, and I'll be honest, I know nothing about this place, but it's absolutely beautiful, which is why I took the 20 minutes or so walk to get here. Today is a Sunday, which makes it no surprise why the park is completely packed. Everywhere you look, you see people riding their bike, skateboarding, buying and selling from vendors on the street. The weather is great, and yeah, it's just a really peaceful, really great day. So if I'm being honest, I don't know a whole lot about this city, but I do know that it's old, like really old. I think this city was founded about 500 years ago and is one of the only cities in Latin America to be discovered and settled by the actual Native American Indians that lived here. There's no question that Mexico City as a whole gets sort of a bad reputation, at least internationally. And, you know, with the city of 10 million people, I can't speak for the whole city, but I do know that the city is composed of about 16 different districts, or like boroughs. And the one that I'm staying in specifically, called La Roma, is absolutely gorgeous. It does a really good job of balancing urban space with like parks and restaurants and natural beauty. I have no real agenda today, but look at the size of this tree. It reminds me a lot of the sequoia trees in California. I mean, it's that big. So according to the sign right behind me, this tree is actually the oldest tree in the park. Not sure how old it is, but it's got to be at least a couple hundred years. Now that I think about it, this park is very obviously like the Central Park of Mexico City. Except we're not in New York City, we are in Mexico. So this park also has quite a few lakes. I don't see anyone swimming. I mean, obviously it's too cold to swim, but I wonder if you're allowed to like go out and take boats here, because it's pretty big. It's definitely big enough to take some rowboats out. Not sure if you want to swim. There's probably a lot of bacteria in the water, but it looks really nice. It's really pretty. It's very obviously winter here. A lot of the trees, even though they don't really change colors, they look like they're browning, like they're kind of dead for the winter. I don't think it really gets that cold here. Right now it's in January and it's like upper 60s, so it feels really comfortable. But I think, you know, regardless of what time you come to Mexico City, what time of the year, you really won't need a jacket. Back when I was in Tulum the other day, I told one of the bike rental guys, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. It was like 84 degrees Fahrenheit. He's like, 84, that's cold for us here. I was like, oh my gosh, I knew it. I promise I had no idea. Who knew there were castles in Mexico? Looks like a princess lives up there. Unfortunately, the castle's closed, but it is actually a legitimate castle on a hill here in the center of the park. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about it. If it was open, I'd go check it out. All I do know is that it is the National Museum of Mexico, and I think it is actually the most visited museum in the entire country. But we will not be visiting it today. So like I mentioned previously, the area of the city that I'm staying in is called La Roma. Specifically for me, La Roma Norte. And what makes this area really interesting, at least to me, is dare I say, it looks almost like European. I've never seen so many parks and outdoor restaurants all concentrated into one space. It's actually insane. And to top it all off, it's extremely walkable. I think my biggest critique so far has to be the absolutely chaotic cabling system they have going across the streets. I mean, this thing is running through trees, through buildings, loop-de-loops. I don't know if there's any order to it, but it looks absolutely chaotic. So from what I was reading, a lot of this area was actually destroyed back in the 1980s because the city experienced a devastating earthquake. And ever since, this area, La Roma, has been building back to become a significantly and culturally affluent area. And because of all the rebuilding that's been done, there's been a lot of gentrification. So as you look around, you can see $1 million, sometimes multi-million-dollar homes right off street corners. I have to admit, I've been very, very impressed with this side of the city in just my few hours of walking around. And really, what better way to experience and get to know a city than just walking around? Well, if I'm being honest, I'm very tired. Been walking around the city for almost 4 hours now, so I'm gonna go back, get some food, but tomorrow I'm actually flying to Costa Rica. It's been a bucket list destination of mine for a while, so stay tuned for that. And thanks for joining me on my Ciudad de Mexico walking tour.